Well, check it out, y'all. We got what you need. We're all living in apartments, condos, vans. Well, dude, even you can have a studio in a box. Yes, we can help you with that right here at Blind Knowledge. We work on your budget and we figure out your measurements. We'll get you the best sound for the best price. Let me know, 877-237-1143 or at blindknowledge.com. Yep.
People are strange when you're a stranger. Faces look ugly when you're alone. Women seem wicked when you're unwanted. Streets are uneven when you're down.
Hey, welcome everybody. Here we are, our favorite time of the week, Sunday night with Global Strangeness. And this week we have myself, Scott, Michael, Jeremy in and out, and we have a guest, and I'm very excited to welcome Shante to the show. This week was my topic, Starseed, and I feel, Shante, like we don't know much about it. I know very little. Two of the people asked what it was about. I think Jeremy knows a little bit. So I'm super excited to hear what you have to teach us and tell us. So first of all, if you want to sort of introduce yourself, tell us what you do, where people can find you, all the good stuff like that, maybe.
Okay, so if we're starting with me, hi everybody. My name is Shante. I am 35. I live in Illinois. I'm an 80s baby. The 90s made me. I have 3 kids. I have been involved in spiritual things and practices and extraterrestrial conversations and things like that since 2014 is when I want to say I really started delving into it. There's a group that I'm in on Facebook that's based out of the UK, but has members from all over. And in that group, we would do group meditations where we would go to these other planets, places, dimensions, timelines, all this other stuff, right? We would go to those places, and then in some of those meetings, we would bring energies back to give a message for humanity and such. So think of it as somebody who's a channeler, somebody who does like transfiguration, things like that, right? So, and being in, my apologies.
Sorry, when you say go to, are you talking remote viewing? You're talking astral projecting? Like what do you mean going to?
So we would do an astral projection. So we would be in a meditative state and wherever you're sitting at in the globe or whatever, right? You'd be there in that state and we would be guided. It'd be a voice guided meditation. So it's basically you using your intuitiveness, your imagination to then see and sense what it is that's being given to you. And then once you're at a certain point in that meditation, then you're free to roam about, per se, like as far as being able to explore whatever environment or whatever vision has came to you during that process. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's super cool. That'd be.
How long did it take you to learn how to do that?
I'd probably say less than 6 months. I wouldn't say it took that long because I had already, when this happened, I had just turned 25. So when I say like being able to hear things and sense other energies and stuff, that was already something that I felt like was built within me. So then going to that group just basically helped to develop it more.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool. And then when did you get into like start finding your star seed, origins and all of that?
So I would say about a year and a half after. After I realized that I can have these type of communications and stuff, it definitely made me want to know more, not only just like about my past lives, but like other places that my soul has been, because that energy, that soul never dies. It goes through different spaces, different eons, different everything. So I wanted to be able to tap in and find out more. So there was a girl on Facebook that I met. Her name was Meg. Her name is Megan Creek. And in her live, she was doing a group reading where she was going over who our guides and stuff were and who we were connected to as far as the solar system was connected. So in that live, she had told me that I had connections with the Syrian race, with Sirius B. I also had connections with Lyra and with Cassiopeia. I'm like, okay, that sounds cool, right? Anybody can tell you anything. Let me go do some research. Thanks for letting me know that, but let me go do some research on it. After doing research on it, the Syrians are connected to the Egyptians. I have a past life in Egypt that I know of, that I have conscious recollection of. So that immediately connected. The fact that I have a epitome and a thing for lions on top of my zodiac sign being a Leo. So having that connection, just knowing that I have stardust that comes from everywhere, it definitely made me want to be like, there's more to this. So that means that not only am I just here having this human experience as this spiritual entity, there's more on top of that. How do I get to it? Right?
Right. It's such an interesting deep dive. The more you get into it, the more that comes out. And then you just get, it's like a spiral, right? You just get into it and it keeps
It's a
going and
rabbit
going.
hole. It's a rabbit hole, is what I'm gonna say. It's definitely that, but it's a hole that I wouldn't go back and change any bit of it at all.
Right. Yeah. No, that is super. Like, you're eons ahead of me in this type of stuff, I'm sure, but it is so interesting, and I'm there. I'm like getting into everything, and everything more, the more you like learn and hear about, the more you're like, that makes sense. In the end, it seems so simple, and it's like, but wait, so like
Right.
it's so profound, but it's so simple anyways. And then you're on to the next thing. So if you don't mind, for any of our viewers, or like even for ourselves here, can you describe some of the different starseed origins? Like, I know there's Pleiadians and Syrians, you're talking about Lyrans. Can you describe some of them, or do you know much about all the different types and kind of what the main characteristics are?
So I know what they look like. I know different types. So on a meditation that I did, I was invited to a space that looked like a ship. It was with the Galactic Federation. So at this space, at this table in this room, was 13 to 20 different entities and races, right? So I see this reptilian person. I see this bubble of light, just this bubble of light. I see somebody who looks aquatic in nature, like, so think of like how the mermaids are. FYI, mermaids are there. So there was that person, there was the people, there was the Syrian guy, very, very tall, very blue, but with like a shade of like silver on him. It was like a bluish silver color, but he had a very, very strong face. His face was very, very strong. The Pleiadian person, blonde hair, very, very beautiful eyes, just very, very poised. Um, the reptilian people. Um, there are many different star beings and origins that you can come from. Like you said, the Pleiadians, the Octurians, the Lyrans, the Lemurians, the Atlanteans. Like it's all more so dependent upon, you know, where your energy has been. If you get into doing like past life regressions and things like that, you tap into a lot of those more, and it kind of helps. It's like doing an ancestry DNA, just spiritually.
I like that. Yeah, that's what is that? That site you go to find out your DNA or whatever match. Too bad you couldn't do that with this and find out exactly who your kin is. So,
Yeah.
so are you like a medium? Do you have a feeling about other people and you know where they come from, or how does that work? Like when you look at a person, do you sort of recognize their
Have I found relatives who are connected to me that look nothing like me, but everything about your energy and aura represents me, and I feel that on a deeper level? Yes, very, very, very much so. I am a medium. I can pick up on other people's energies. I don't do it like just walking into a room because I feel like that's intrusive. I feel like for me, if I want to pick up on your energy, I want you to ask me to do that. I don't want to automatically assume anything. But in stepping in a room with other starseeds, oh yeah, you gonna immediately feel, oh, there is something different about you. Something different about you. I'm gonna figure it out here in a minute. But for me, I don't read people unless they ask for me to read them, and then I trust what my guides and what my ancestors and what my higher self automatically tune in, because it's more so of a, when you ask me to connect, now not only am I connecting to you and your energy, but I'm connecting to any other energy that may be with you as well, because that's going to then help me find, all right, where you come from.
right? Okay, guys, what do you have some questions, or Michael? You look pretty astounded.
Where are we at?
Hey, Shante, thank you for joining. I tend to be one of the skeptics on the podcast. So, how do you? I'm kind of groping for words here. How do you know that these experiences that you're having are real as opposed to imaginary? How do you assess that what you're experiencing is a real thing? How do you know that?
So with my first connections with being able to, like I said, going to the Federation and being able to see them, that was a shared experience. So it wasn't something that was illuminated or envisioned just within me. There were other people there who were able to see me and perceive me in that space to be able to affirm what it is that I then came back with. Does that
That's
answer your
fair.
question?
That's fair. So when we go to these other worlds, as you describe them, what do we as individuals look like? Do we look like people, or do we look like shimmering things? What is that like?
Do you mean like as far as if you were to go
Right.
into a space and go there. So you're still going to look like you. Nothing about your imagery or your body will change. The only thing that's going to change is how you are then received in that atmosphere or in that space. Because not all places that you travel to, you're just going to be able to astral in and be okay. There are still adaptations that they need to embody upon you in order for you to then be in those spaces. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so I've got a follow-on question. So when we're astral projecting, it's really the soul leaving the body. Is that correct?
Correct. That's your whole energetic soul
So
now stepping out.
how does the soul approximate our physical being? So you said we look the same when we're in these astral planes. How do the contours of our body and our face and how does the soul reflect that in the astral plane?
That's dependent upon the person. How do you perceive yourself when you look at yourself within?
Okay.
How do you see you?
So it's a reflection of self-perception. Is that what we're saying?
I would say it's a reflection of who you truly are on the inside when you take away any expectations or any assumptions of anybody else, and it's just you being true in that space.
Well, I think I would probably look like Conan the Barbarian. I don't.
Okay,
No, that'd be me. Come on now, let's
you,
go.
baby, then you go around and you roar, okay? You go around and okay, walk around and embody that, because that's you, boo. Shit, the hell.
Very good. Thank you for answering my question, Shante. I appreciate
I mean,
it.
You're welcome.
as like Scott always says, that's why Hillary Clinton looks like a reptilian. But
I'm just saying there are certain reasons why certain people look certain ways.
Mhm.
Interesting.
Yeah, I found it interesting when you're kind of looking through some of this. Some of them have physical characteristics, like Lyran or whatever, cat-like or bird-like features, like actual physical features. So there's quite a few that have like distinct physical kind of. They don't all look the exact same. Obviously, they have human attributes.
Correct.
There's kind of a commonality, like so it looked like your cousins or whatever. You all look like you're somewhat related in a physical way. So that's kind of
Right.
cool.
With some of them, they are definitely like that, but when you speak upon a connection, you more so feel it on a vibe. You feel it on a soul level. It's a vibe. Like you immediately feel they vibe, and you like, I know you, but where do I know you from? Right? Have you ever had those moments where you ran into somebody and you recognize them, but you know you ain't never seen this person a day in your life? You ain't never seen them, but something about them is familiar to you. What is that?
Yeah. I think everybody has that day to day. I have that in dreams. I have that. I believe I project all the time when I'm sleeping, and when I meditate and stuff too. So I've had that where it's like a strange entity looking thing, but I know I'm not scared. I know who it is, or it's a feeling though. But I don't like communicate. I don't hear words, or I just feel a feeling. If that makes any sense, vibrations and kind of sounds and stuff, but not. So I don't have any great profound messages. I don't channel or anything like that. I don't really understand, why this happens, but it happens. I feel it. So
I earlier in the week, I didn't remember Jeremy said we were going to have a guest. So I went on the maybe we're the fallen angels path. But I looked into the starseed stuff, and there are a lot of people that are like tie it into motivational speaking. Like they're life coaches and stuff. I don't understand what's the difference between like a starseed and a regular human.
The difference between a star seed and a regular human is that you don't belong here. The customs that we have to deal with in the world is very unfamiliar. It's very,
Well, that
why do we have to live in such a limited, bounded way when all it takes is for us to be able to set the intention, pull the
that's
energy in that, and then
kind of when I
manifest?
looked into it. It was like they were these broad, like you feel like you don't belong, you're an outsider. It kind of seemed very like cultish when I was looking into it.
Scott.
So,
Like it did. I'm not lying.
depending on where you dig, you definitely gonna get into some spaces where it can definitely look extremely cultish, especially when it comes to finding out about certain rituals and certain aspects in the sky and numbers that then sync up to it, that then equal out to things that you're doing in your everyday life. Depending
So
on who's
is it
looking at
like
it.
heavily rooted in like astrology? Because I like Michael said, he's the skeptic. I'm the guy who thinks we're in the simulation theory. And astrology makes 100% sense to me. We're all just NPCs for someone else's world.
So you would be
Starseeds
right.
go into.
You would be right. FYI, there's a matrix that's what's happening. Everybody has their moment where they get their Neo moment and they get to break out. Congratulations. That's what you were supposed to do. Once you make it to that spot, then you become in a training day per se. So now you're exposed to different paranormal things, different sightings, different conversations, different synchronicities that just happen to link up, and you're like, gee, what the is going on? So like, how many people are tied into this? um so
So I guess my question would be like, what's the overall goal? Like, if they kind of agree in the same way that I do, is there an afterlife? Is there something we're supposed to do, or are we just supposed to go on living as NPCs? Like once you know what difference, it's kind of like the flat Earth, right? Like the people who find out the flat Earth is real, like, well, what is that? Like, what happens after that?
Correct. So Starseeds, what I like to call us, are the welcoming committee. FYI, we're here to set the standard and set the tone of what's to come and that what's to change, because we vibrate on a whole nother different frequency. Depending on where you are, depending on, what all experiences you've had. I would never say somebody who's just reading a book is going to be a master of anything. And anybody says that they've reached the master level needs to start back at the ABC function of things. Because at this point, you have room to still learn. Because as we're still here, we're still learning at all points in time. So I would say, as far as who they are and what they're for, they're here to spread higher awareness about how our life does not have to be as much of a struggle here. Yes, we're here being human, but we're having an experience. We're not to be in the world. Okay, we're only to be of it. We're only to be here in the moment and in the time that we have. And in those experiences, love. In those experiences, go get hurt. In those experiences, level the fuck up. That's what you're
So,
supposed to do.
is there like an afterlife thing? Because like that's always been the thing with me and simulation theory is like, I probably won't exist afterwards. So that, like, to
So,
try to follow a faith seems kind of ridiculous if I don't believe that I'm going to be here afterwards. Is there some sort of like reincarnation, or how does that work with the starseed?
So I'm going to explain to you how I see the astral life, because I do mediumship readings where I connect with people who have crossed over. So for me, how I view the afterlife is once a person passes, once they transition over, however you want to call that phase, you go into a state of review, i.e. your limbo. Right.
Okay.
So in this review stage, you're now looking over every aspect of this incarnation, this most recent one that you're stepping out of. Right. So there are certain things, when they talk about like restless spirits, like spirits who won't cross over, those are ones that are more so stuck in a loop of I can't forgive, I can't let go, I need to handle this, right? There are some that get stuck like that, yes. But your main intention and purpose is to let go of everything. Think of it like motherfucking Aang in the Avatar, when he had to go through all his different 7 chakras. You gotta let go of all this shit, because at the end of it, none of this matters. All that matters is the experiences that you have, what you was able to come here and karmically clear, okay? Because FYI, everything that you go through is a motherfucking lesson. The quicker you catch the lesson, the quicker you ain't got to keep dealing with bullshit in your life. So when you do then cross over and transition, right, you immediately get through that review stage. And now you're in a state of healing. Now you get to go to the upper deck. Now you go into the whole upper room. So in that space, you have the availability to stay in that spiritual space or say, hey, sign me up for the Jubilee. I'm on another contract. Shoot me back down, Scotty.
I hope I'm the one in charge of doing that. I think we can all learn from Aang. Like, I similar to what I believe. Well, not what I believe, but other things. Yeah, it's similar.
I mean,
similar belief.
It's basically like a DMV waiting room up there, Scott, while you're waiting to get your review done.
Well, DMT is that's the one that makes you question, right? I don't know.
What was that?
Maybe it all just shuts off.
I mean, I highly doubt that. I highly doubt that it just shuts off. I mean, it may for a second, but you're going to see something else a few minutes later. I don't know what that is, but you're going to see something.
Your energy, and your energy never dies. So ain't no shut off function. There's no lights off switch. Once the essence of you is no longer in this vessel, that essence doesn't just cease to exist. Where does it go is more so your question.
So,
Yeah, I'm torn personally, but
I have a question. So every time we come back, and I do believe we come back many, many times over, and so you forget everything and you start over and you build this little life and get your life lessons and whatever. But are you choosing to come back each time and try and awaken earlier each time and then have a greater impact and greater consciousness earlier on, so you can have a bigger impact overall on other people and trigger their awakenings? Like, what is the point? We keep coming back and doing it over and over again. You wipe out your memory every time. Is it so that you start remembering quicker each time, or?
So think about it like this. Every time you come back, you have karmic things from your past life that maybe you didn't finish, learning through, that some of those reminiscences come here to this life. And then you have the dreams and the expectations of life that are now placed upon you here. Yes, the goal is you're in a competition with your future self. You're in a competition of who you can be. So yes, the goal is every time you come back, the sooner your ass wake up and remember who you are and what you're supposed to be doing, the easier life is. But remember, to whom much is given, much is required. And sometimes in those moments, we can be in a space where we feel like it's too much and we be like, hey, look, I don't want to do this. Right. And in those moments, when we get to that space, we have to be very conscious of our words and what that means etherically. What does that mean energetic wise? Where is that now going to take me and place me? And I only say that to tell people that, you know, there are times where being able to be so tapped in and so tuned in to all this extra, let me not call it extra, because it's something that's extraordinarily beautiful, but always having to find that duality and that balance in between that modality. Sometimes it can be tiring, and sometimes you can be like, I don't want to be the responsible one. Why do I have to be the responsible one? Why do I always have to be the big one to go in and explain this to motherfucking people so that way they fucking get it right? Right. And it reminds me back to a time where I didn't know. And if I would never raise my hand and ask the question and was like, why is it that I'm experiencing this? I would have never knew the answer. Lessons just would have kept repeating and repeating. And then what was going to happen? I was going to be 70 years old talking about some on my deathbed. Well, I felt like I had a good life. I could have, would have, should have. And then now here I go, that review process. I ain't do everything that I was supposed to because I was ignorant to my gut feeling. I was ignorant to my inclination and to my intuition. So now here I go. Let's learn again. School's in session. Ding, ding.
And do you feel it? Because I really feel like people don't understand that they're already tapped in, like every single person in the world tapped in. You're always manifesting. People they take so many courses on how to manifest. You're already manifesting, but you're accidentally
your word.
The wrong things you don't want. So when you're questioning, like when you're saying you're like, I don't want to do this anymore, you're accidentally putting yourself farther back in your path of expanding. But yeah, so it's interesting. So you have to be really careful what you're saying and thinking.
And Deborah, this is why you keep waking up in Canada every life. I'm just saying. That's why you keep waking up in Canada.
I love Canada. You leave me alone. I'm here. That's good.
Yeah, you got to get out of there.
A book. There's a book that I read, and it helps explain words and the agreements that they sow. It's called The Four Agreements by Don Ruiz Miguel. If y'all ain't read it, it's on Amazon for $8. If you got Audibles, it's free. Okay. He has it available in an Audible. Let me tell you something. Within the first 2 chapters of this book, it explains life instantly. It explains the bullshit that we go through here instantaneously, and then it dives into those words. And like you said, we're always manifesting things. It's just a matter of your wordplay. What words is you using? What tone are you using? What energy are you putting behind that word to send out? Because everybody want to pray, right? But where are you praying to? Where is that prayer going?
So what about this book, The Four Agreements? Did you find the most interesting? What's the premise of the book?
The premise of the book is that there are 4 specific rules that if you choose to, if the book resonates with you, that's how I'm gonna put it. If the book resonates with you, you gonna look at these 4 agreements and you gonna say, how can I apply these into my daily life? So the first agreement is being impeccable with your words, being mindful of your words, because what does the Bible say? Our tongue is a double-edged sword. It can be used for good, but it could also be used to cut us in the same damn token, right? So being impeccable with your word. The second agreement is not taking things personal. We're emotional as humans. as fuck. Extremely emotional, and a lot of things that we do are based and guided off of how they make us feel. Sometimes we need to realize that when people say things to us, it's not meant to harm you. We're a reflection of each other. So something that I see in me, that I see in you, if I see that there is a correction that can take place, I'm going to give this love to you. Just as so, if I see that you can give me something, I'm finna sit back and I'm finna receive it. Right? So far, that's where I've gotten in the book. So I'm still fresh on it. But within that, I feel like it is it's a very highly recommendable book when you try to make sense of shit.
Great.
That
Thank
really
you.
speaks to shadow work too, right? So, like even collective shadow work, when you're interacting with other people, not taking it personally, but receiving, because everybody is reflecting back and forth, and that's why it's triggering you. So, I see that really as collectively learning to release all our shadow work as a globe. If that makes sense, I don't
Right.
know.
It makes sense.
So, guys, what do you think? Do you think that you're starseeds?
Well, I have another question for Shante. Are you familiar with this idea of, now the words that escape me, well, you could call them night terrors, when you have these extremely...
Sleep paralysis?
Thank you, sleep paralysis. Are you familiar with this, and how does it relate to any of what you're talking about?
I'm very familiar with it. I had an experience on my own, and I about damn near freaked out, and I said, "Oh no, honey, we finna have to learn how to get a hold of this."
Yeah, I had one and didn't even have the fucking shadow people. It freaked me out.
It was me. It was me. It wasn't a shadow person. So I'm gonna tell you. I was laying on the couch, right? Wasn't nobody in the house. I didn't have to work that day. The kids was at school. The hubby was at work. I'm in the house chilling, right? Everything cool. I'm laying on the couch. I went to sleep, right? Upon me waking up, I didn't fully wake up. I was laying on the couch and I opened my eyes and I couldn't get up. But I heard myself walking out of the room. I saw the door open up and I saw the bathroom light come on. I was laying on the couch and I saw the bathroom light come on. Oh, hell no. I closed my eyes back. I took a breather and I told myself to come back. Right? Closed my eyes, took a breather, told myself to come back. After I did that, I opened up my eyes again. I looked over my body. I picked my hand up and I hit myself. I was like, bet, I'm here. I immediately jump up, go in the hallway. What the fuck is fucking going on? Like, what just happened? Right? This was before I knew anything about anything.
Well, so that's more like astral projection. Do you think, like, because mine, I was in a totally different state. Like, I mean, a lot of people, right? They're in the same room or whatever. But like, if you saw yourself, do you think that was your gateway into astral projection?
The fact that I have been able to do that since I was a child, no, I just feel like it was it was more so weird that I couldn't get up like I normally do. Cause I know how to wake up in my dream state. I know how to go lay down, pass out, realize that a dream is popping off and up, let me tune in. Like I'm aware of being able to do that. But in that sense, I wasn't able to just immediately get up. Like that didn't happen.
An astral projection, you'd be you that's in the hallway, like moving around, right? You'd be seen from that perception.
Correct.
But
I would
also,
see
like
from
you're
that
trapped in the body.
vision. Correct. I would see from the vision of me walking in the hallway going up the stairs. I would have been able to see that.
Yeah.
That would have been the astral. But I was stuck on the couch.
And you just like watched yourself do like
I couldn't do none of that. All I saw was the shadow, like the back of me going. Like, that's all I saw. But I couldn't get up. I was here. I couldn't get up and do nothing.
So here's the question: could it be an entity looking like you? Like that's not part of you. It's just something mimicking you. And how would you know the difference from that? Which is
like a
also
doppelganger type of situation.
Yeah, that's a good question. Doppelganger. That.
So, first, let's answer those are real. Second, could that have been a possibility? Yes. I don't not knock it, because anything is possible when you are able to step into another time and space and be aware that you're in that time and space, and then come back to this reality here, write that down and have recollection of it. You get what I'm saying? Any of that is something I feel like is to be shared, regardless of who think you crazy. If it was true for you, then baby, that's what it is.
right.
I mean, I feel like more what might have happened to Shante that day is, what if it's like a moment, like a glitch in the matrix almost, where you're stuck in a certain time, like a certain millisecond, but your essence is moving on past that millisecond, and that's what you're seeing. You're seeing your essence doing what you were about to do. Yeah.
5 because I was driving one day and that happened. I was physically driving in the car and I made it to a stoplight. I thought about going right, but physically I went straight. I saw myself make that right turn and go down the street, and ended up coming to a roadblock. Once I realized that I wasn't paying attention to the direction I was going, it was like my body went like that. It was like a bounce back. And then I was back in the vision where I was going straight. And I'm like, gee, we can't do that while we driving. Wait a minute. Give me a heads up before we do weird shit like that. I know that y'all be around and we be talking and I get it. Warn me.
Well, it took you the right direction though. If you missed the roadblock,
I went the right way, but baby, the fact that it happened while driving, it was wild.
and how do you explain that to the cops when you get stopped?
My spirits didn't tell me not to go. God damn it. Listen,
Right?
officer, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Turn around and be like, oh, sure, now you guys are silent now. But I mean, I don't know. I never had sleep paralysis. I don't know why. Maybe marijuana is a good stopper to that. I don't know why.
It is. Dreams too.
Oh yeah, I don't dream at all, barely. And when I do, I could remember it for the morning, but after that morning, I'm not remembering that dream ever again.
That makes me sad.
Better that way. Better that way.
No, it's interesting.
It's not better that way. You're actually missing out on shit.
I
My
wake up
dreams are all
sometimes and I'm like,
bad,
I want to
so.
go back. I want to stay dreaming.
If your dreams are all bad, you need to learn how to become the superhero. You need to learn how to become the big villain in your dream. Stop letting your dreams punk you.
I guess. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
The astral projecting thing I did, it was when we first got to this place though, and then I was really weird because it felt like I was sitting in my backyard in Florida, and it was like 20 minutes, dude, like real actual time. And I was trying to scream for my wife. I couldn't even roll myself out of the chair. You just fucking stuck there. I'm so glad I didn't see any demons or any shit like that, dude. Would have pissed my pants.
I've read some people set clocks and stuff because you can get carried, like you can, be gone for a long, long time. And you need to, obviously come back by a certain time and get up for work or whatever. People actually set alarms just to for their projection time to make sure they come back.
I'm sorry. I said astral projection. I meant I had the sleep paralysis the once.
Oh, for 20 minutes. Have you guys seen
like
the movie?
Minutes.
Have you guys seen the movie Inception with Leonardo DiCaprio?
Yes.
Of course.
So in that movie, you know how they have a little anchor, how he has the little spinning top thing. Right. So every time he comes back, he can have his totem that lets him know whether or not he's present or if he's within a layered dream, right? So think of when you get ready to go to sleep, think of anchoring a piece of yourself in that same manner. Have a piece of you connected to some part of your house, and see that cord energetically being tethered, right? So that way, when you do fall asleep and you do go off into whatever place you may go, whether you astral travel to other locations, dimensions, shit like that, or you just stay in your house, or you stay in your neighborhood, or you go back to an old familiar place, a reoccurring dream, right? You have a piece of yourself anchored back that if it gets too real, i.e. to the scary dreams, if it gets too real, you're able to pull yourself back and up out of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get it. I don't dream very often. So like last night I had back to back scary dreams. The first time made total sense. Fell asleep with dip in my mouth. Spit it out though, and then it was like 4 or 5 dreams that kept waking me up. I don't like fucking dreaming.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, Scott. All those dreams you have about Bigfoot erotica, I can imagine why you don't like dreaming.
Those are your dreams, dude. I know why you want your dreams. I had like some fucker pushed me off a cliff. I had a fucking demon come and grab me. Like back-to-back horrible shit.
And this has just only recently happened to you since moving into this new space? Or that's always happened?
Well, no, I've been here for a while. Yeah, every time I have dreams, they're always bad.
Oh.
When I remember them, but we try not to remember them.
There's a way past that, but like Deborah said, like being able to step into doing some of that deeper inner work, whether you call it shadow work or whether you call it inner child healing, being able to go in and tap on that shit will definitely help to heal your dream state. Not to say that everybody needs to have a dream, but when you already know that you are intuitively inclined to shit, it better helps you through this journey, through this life that you have here. It helps, regardless of how scary it may seem. That shit actually helps.
I had the Jeepers Creepers guy follow me once, and the cops were following me at the same time, and I was trying to like slightly avoid the Jeepers Creepers dude to not get caught by the cops.
Not you had a double negative. Not you was running away from 2 fucked up situations. Talk about some. I'm just trying to find a way not to have to explain nothing to either one of them.
Well, I don't think the Jeepers Creepers guy is looking for explanation, Scott. But he might just ask you. He might just ask you, where'd you get those peepers? I want them.
The fucking cops were the thing you were most afraid of.
Well, I mean, you're from LA, so I can believe it.
You should do a dream journal, Scott, where you write everything down and see, patterns or whatever. And
I
It'd be a
have dreams
bestseller.
like maybe 10 to 15 a year that I remember. So,
wow.
like I said, we try to take care of that.
So silly. Look, you can definitely drink it down, but that just means you're gonna deal with it in your present, because that is also a spirit that's going to invoke a spirit. So it's just a matter of how you want to receive it, baby. You can either take it the easy way or the hard way with no petroleum jelly. How do you want it?
Oh boy.
Prison rules, Scott. Prison rules.
I prefer this way, whichever way that falls. Better.
Oh, dear.
That's no petroleum jelly, basically. But
I'm just saying,
It
if you
happens.
like it enough, okay? I papi, okay?
Scott's raw dogging over here. Jesus Christ.
So I have a question about projecting again, because I can get out, and I can get out from a meditative state, but it almost feels like as soon as it's like I just get out and I get excited, and it's like I slam back in. Like as soon as I'm sort of aware, I'm like, oh no. I'm like, why did that happen?
So, Deborah, you're saying you can get oot, but not a boot.
I can get oot, but not a boot.
Yeah.
So,
You didn't have to emphasize, Deborah. It would have came out
Shut up. I
naturally.
do not have an accent, you guys.
It did come out naturally. That's why I made fun of it.
in the places that you going, that excitement, you too loud. Be quiet. you gotta be quiet. In some of those spaces, as soon as you get there, because the vibration be on a higher frequency, and I feel like you've delved into light language. I feel like you've listened to sound frequency and stuff. When you come in, speaking is too loud. So you have to come in speaking through here. You have to use that telepathy. Now, when you get into that space and you go in that order, you then are able to land, and you don't have to get kicked back down like off the ledge like this is Sparta, because I know exactly what you're talking about, and that shit is ratchet. It feels rough, and it takes you a while to get back comfortable and back acclimated to your space, because you like, gee,
it's jarring, and then it's so disappointing. I'm like so frustrated because I don't want to be back. I'm like, the whole I'm excited to get there, and I'm like, oh no. Dang it. Yeah, but it's jarring. Yeah.
yes.
Okay, quiet.
Oop,
I don't know. Yeah. Okay.
I mean,
Dang it.
well, let me ask you this, Shante, because since I first talked to you, God, I saw the date when we first started talking, like the other day when I messaged you, and I was like, Jesus, it was that long ago? It was 2022? But since then, I've talked to a lot of different people in these fields. And what do you think about the idea that different alien extraterrestrial races were having a war on Earth, to say, back in ancient times?
That's actually what I found when I looked into the Starseed shit. But you go ahead.
So is the question, was there a battle between the entities here on Earth and the entities that visit the Earth?
Yes, I mean, no. I mean, from what I understand, it was basically the Anunnaki and the Palladians were basically always at war with the reptilians on Earth, and a couple other races were involved as well. I don't ever remember the names of. I think the horse-looking ones were too, but and supposedly that's when humans either got brought to or created on Earth, was because we were basically a slave race at that time.
So there were already humanoid type beings here. that's always been present. Earth has
Ubiquitous,
always
yes.
Earth has always had visitations and have always had DNA modifications, i.e., this is why you have starseeds here now. We not just here just because DNA wise through our family, we just happen to be a little bit extracurricular. Like there is a lot more that goes into that and that deals with them visiting here. And I am very grateful and thankful that you brought this up because the other day I had some experiences here in my little old town. And you know me, I like taking pictures. I love taking pictures because a picture will tell you 1,000 words. I don't give two flying flips what anybody say. You can't deny this picture that was taken. And in this picture, I saw
Do you have it?
some
Can
light
you share it?
beams. Yeah, I have it.
Send it over to Jeremy.
Yeah,
Look,
if you want to.
however
Yeah.
I need to share it, I'll let all of y'all have it. And I'll let y'all know the other people. Because like you said, Jeremy, it's been a while since we talked. And baby, the people who I have encountered, the experiences, the confirmation, the motherfucking confirmation, the synchronicities of it, it's just like, I bet. Let me keep going. Y'all said it's real like this. I bet. Let me keep going. And that's that being able to have a childlike innocence. I understand being skeptical and wanting to question the validity of things. But sometimes we also have to remember that in life there are so many unexpected things that can happen. There are so many uncertainties. So, in that same amount of uncertainties, why can't I have the same amount of infinite possibilities? Why can't I, live within that imaginative state to know that, hey, if I sense this, who's to say this didn't come across somebody else's mindset? Who's to say somebody else ain't already developed something like this? Because I know it just didn't cross upon my neutrons. Not when we all fucking connected. Not when we all connected. I know somebody else done had an experience. I know y'all done seen a red light in the sky moving across. I know y'all done seen it because I know I'm not the only one.
Oh, I've seen the things I've seen in the last couple months around the skies has been questionable, and there's been a lot in the last couple days since this hole in the sun's getting bigger.
Yeah. Y'all like that portal in the sky, don't y'all? That's a nice ass portal they got sitting up there.
Yeah, it's just who created the portal. I doubt it was natural. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, I mean, it looked like there's been almost rips in the sky since that opened. It looks like there's little rips in the sky, almost like the trail a jet leaves when it launches into the sky, but different, shimmering in a way.
So who do you think? Who's your guess?
I honestly can't even begin to fathom who or what. There are so many culprits. Well, okay, but the government's always my top culprit for everything in this freaking country. But
Them first, okay? First off, why y'all ain't telling me about it?
seriously, we've been saying for a while, especially our lead skeptic down there, what they doing with CERN.
With CERN, yeah, exactly.
Like,
well, the Mandela effect. Who laid with the lamb? What was the animal that laid with the lamb?
The lion, Scott?
Okay, Deborah?
What?
What animal laid with the lamb in the Bible?
I don't. Why are you picking on me? Go away.
Well, Michael?
Well, it was a lion.
I just said it, yeah.
Like Jeremy said, what are you getting at?
No, it was not, dude. Check a Bible. It was the wolf who laid with the lamb.
I was gonna say a ram. I don't
That would make
recall it
sense.
being a lion. I recall it being a big stocky looking thing. It was more so the strength of it. But to his effect, that the Mandela effect is definitely something that we all deal with. But we all deal with that because we jump timelines. Many of us are travelers, and we don't just stay here in this.
Dimension.
Michael, you good? We don't
I'm sorry,
just
Shante.
stay
It's
here.
late for me. It's been a long
That's
day.
a big one, dude. Like I just found that one out a couple weeks ago. It was always
Michael
like
Jones.
it was always the lion that laid with the lamb so much that every Mormon church and temple in the world has the exact same paintings, and it all shows a lion laying with a lamb. And that's what I remember when I was a kid. But if you go look at the passage, I'll pull the passage
What
up.
is the
I was
passage?
gonna
Bring
say
up the
it's a
Bible. Let's look it up.
It's a
Huh?
certain date that you have to go to, because at a certain date they removed all of the text. And so what he's
Mandela
talking about
effect,
is
dude.
what was in that previous text, yes, which then some of us have information to it, like the flat earth. There is a whole map of that. How do you have a map, but yet you tell me this is a fucking globe? Gee, there's a map. Why did y'all make a map?
Well, the thing that gets me is like, I mean, you guys all answered lion, right? It was always the lion and the lamb. Go read the text for yourself. It's the wolf that lays with the lamb, and
Okay.
this is like the Mandela effect. Life was never like a box of chocolates, right? Forrest Gump, life was like a box of chocolates. No, life is like a box of chocolates, motherfucker. You never know what you're gonna get. They're fucking with us at that CERN shit.
Same with the Berenstein or Berenstein, like with the E or the A. I'm like,
That one I would have never known. I wasn't a reader.
I am the Bernstein.
Obviously, Scott. But I mean,
Scott,
Scott,
Luke, I am your father, or no, I am your father. Come on now. They're doing some fucked up shit down there in CERN.
Well, I mean, Scott, the chocolates you're getting are very induced with hallucinogenics. I already know that. But
I wish. It's a dry state, my friend.
here,
well,
I shall be right
I
back.
don't know. I mean, the Mandela effect's true, as well as but it all ties into history as well, because we've all been being taught false history since we were children. I mean, history is written by the winners always, and they edit it, and the governments hide everything else they want to hide. I mean, they know the truth about a lot more than they know about. I mean, the fake moon landing altogether is false history, right, Scott?
Absolutely.
I think it more has to
I
do
saw
with
Forrest Gump when it came out. Huh?
And I went and got my Bible, baby. I'm about to look it up. Okay, I'm about to go to the index.
I think it has
pull
more
up
to
the-
do with the telephone game than any kind of conspiracy. Just the misinterpretation or the incorrect words are propagated because people repeat what other people have said to them.
Mm-hmm.
Michael is more of a skeptic than me.
I mean, there's no universal list of, sociological inaccuracies, right? We don't just have a list of misquotes. I mean, if you think about song lyrics, I mean, people get those wrong all the time. I don't think there's a conspiracy there.
I think might sound better than what's the real ones. When I'm
Some of the mis readings are actually quite funny. I don't know.
Isaiah 11:6.
Well,
the wolf will live with the lamb, and the leopard will lie down with the goat. The calf and young lion and fatling will be together, and the child will yada yada yada.
I mean, there's a line in there, Joe. I knew there was a line in there.
No, there wasn't a lion in there. There was a leopard.
You said lion at the end. With the calf and the fatling.
No, I said a little child.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, but it
Well,
does say the calf and the lion and a little child.
Yeah, there you go. See, told you.
But this,
See,
but,
Yeah,
it,
maybe I did.
but it says the wolf shall dwell with the lamb. That's the first line.
Yeah, which makes sense. Wolves and lambs are natural enemies, so that I should have actually said that, but I mean, it makes sense. But
Anyway, yeah.
but back to what we were talking about, because we never. I mean, we were talking about ancient Earth and extraterrestrial species at war, and we kind of got off topic a while ago with that. But as we do, but I mean, from what I understand, I think it is the Palladians, but the horse-faced looking extraterrestrials, they had to do with Atlantis. They were the ones behind Atlantis, behind the scientific advancements of Atlantis, and because of that, that's why Atlantis got destroyed.
Correct.
Because yay, Jeremy studies his paranormal stuff well.
That's correct. It had came to a space where technology had got advanced to a point where it was being traded off and misused, and because of that, which is what then fell to destruction. I only know of this because I had a life there, but I was young and it was during the collapse, and so in that I carry in this life a fear of drowning, a fear of water. Like I love being in water, but don't ask me to go swim. Don't ask me to go put my head under. Don't ask me, let's snorkel. I don't want to go do any of that. I feel like I'm going to die. But that's only because in that lifetime, that's what happened. Even though we were aquatic of nature, that wasn't something that I did. So in that, it caused me to now in this life have to learn how to get past that, because FYI, I love the water. I went to Miami and sat on the beach, and I sat in the water as it was just coming up on me, and it felt so peaceful and so comfortable. And I'm like, why would anybody ever be scared of something like this? But past traumas, regardless of what lifetime that shit happened in, that has resonance that follows you.
So can you do clearing, like healing sessions to clear that out?
Yeah.
Like you can heal things, right, from this lifetime, so you can heal things from other lifetimes too.
Yes, you can go back in and you can heal that energetic wound, that karmatic wound for you, because that's what your purpose and intention is anyways. Upon you awakening and learning and relearning all of those things, that comes with that. I'll definitely share a picture with you guys as well. I recently found my grandfather, my dad's dad, and we found his mom and his dad. And this woman, kid you not, looks identical to me. Yeah, we family, but ma'am, when I showed this picture to my mother, she thought that this was her own. My mom thought it was me in the picture. She was like, I don't remember you being in no picture like this with no kids like this. You right, Mom, because I wasn't. I was here, but in doing that searching and doing that work and connecting to that oneness, to that higher source of being, to where our energy comes from, that was a life that I walked through. And in that life, I made many of mistakes. Okay. In this life, some of them started to repeat, and it was quickly found that, oh no, baby, we're not doing any of this. We're not doing any of this. You didn't have the time to come back around, and you still young. Bet. Come on, let's clear it. So yes, that's possible. You can clear those things, and that's what's going to help you to get to a point to where, for those who are like, I don't want to have to come back here. I don't like Earth. All right, do your work. Do your work, and then you ain't got to worry about it.
Right.
Well, I mean,
Mom.
I don't know. I mean, it's not always easy though, because you don't know. It's not like there's a pre-written guidebook like in a video game that they give you when you're born that says, okay, here's what you got to do. Here's how to get through this walkthrough.
Right,
Like,
right.
do this step by step. Like, it's not like it comes up. Like, I have made so many mistakes in this life throughout my life that I probably will make again, probably have made before. And I mean, you don't see them to hindsight 2020. I mean, I agreed to be on a podcast. I agreed to be in a podcast with a certain person who thinks birds aren't real, and I mean, I'm still trying to fix that one. But
That's not a mistake. What are you talking about? It's the best thing that ever happened to you.
Hey, they might not be real, but they taste good.
Gotcha. What do you think about that, Shante? The whole conspiracy of birds aren't real, that they're government remote watching devices.
So they have those birds out. FYI, we have regular birds, but FYI, they do have mechanical birds that are just sitting in the sky in place, surveillancing. That shit's happening.
Scott, you're right. You got it.
Well, the birds aren't real. The whole thing it was started as a funny. Like that's why I love it so much.
It's like Five Nights at Freddy's turned into real life too. Like real life. Like, you ever been scared to go to Chuck E. Cheese? It's happening, Linda.
I love me some birds aren't real.
God, but
there are a lot of things that are going on that the government is behind, and I'm definitely going to be mindful in what I say, only because I've realized that they have been more present around my home. So we definitely want to make sure that everybody's able to get this good water. Okay. We don't want nobody falling off maps and shit. But there are many things that they place, not only through the television, which we've all known, that the frequencies that come through, specific commercials, specific sounds that are played, music, they're heavily involved in music because they realize that certain sounds can produce certain energies. They can produce you to do certain things. Just like if you go turn on R. Kelly, I don't care what he done did, put an R. Kelly song on and you gonna want to dance and get a little freaky, right?
I mean, you might all of a sudden have the urge to go get pissed on, but I mean, that's R. Kelly for you.
I mean, shit, whatever floats your boat. I don't question nobody what they do behind closed doors. If it make you happy and make you manifest the shit you need to do in your life, by all means, I'm gonna give you a high five. Keep it, y'all go ahead and do it up over there.
I mean, there you go, Scott. Be your furry self.
Guys.
That's all I have.
Jeremy always tries to live his life out through me.
Man, I ain't no furry. I'm fat. I hate wearing a lot of costumes. I
got a super serious question for you.
Oh God, help us.
What is your favorite Christmas movie of all time? And have you seen any new good ones that are worth watching?
I'm actually dying to hear this because I just watched about like 10 in the last couple of days. But
is he asking me?
Oh, he's asking you. Yeah, he knows all our answers usually.
All right, ask me the question again. My apologies. My kids came up and was asking me questions. You said something about a Christmas movie.
Sorry, I paused myself. I was chewing. Okay, so what is your favorite Christmas movie of all time? And have you seen any new good Christmas movies this year?
So I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't really like Christmas. I don't like the snow. I don't like the 'tis the season. I don't like the smell of pine cone and cinnamon. I don't like seeing the houses lit up. And not to be a Grinch, it's just not more so my forte. But because I have kids, okay, I do have to be exposed to certain Christmas movies as such, right? So if I had to pick this my go-to movie, I'ma watch this and be cool. It's gonna be Elf with Will Ferrell. I
It's a
love that.
solid movie.
I love that. Any new Christmas movies out on Disney Plus? There's a Christmas movie out with Ludacris, and he uses his name in the movie, and it sounds so ludicrous. Bless his heart. It looked nice. it got a little laugh to it, but not anything new per se that I would know. Just because I'm not a let's crank up the Christmas.
So,
I mean,
ludicrous Christmas movie. Do you know the name of it? Because Jeremy got us watching Disney Plus this week.
Um,
I'm looking at
I
it
can
right
look
now.
it up.
It's
I can look it up.
Dashing Through the Snow.
Dashing
Yeah.
Through the Snow. I'll check that one out.
and
I mean,
so basically, it's like a hit movie. Something happened to Santa. He happens to peep wind of it. Then a whole bunch of people come after him because they after Santa because Santa done robbed Peter to pay Paul. It's some extracurricular. It's some extracurricular stuff, but it's a Christmas theme and it's PG-13 rated. It's rated that if you wanted your kids to watch it, they could sit down and watch it with you.
Cool.
yeah. And I mean, Scott, I mean, you have plenty of Christmas horror movies you should be watching for our bracket in 2 weeks. So plenty of Christmas horror movies for you to watch if you
In
haven't
2
seen them
weeks.
yet.
That's after Christmas.
Well, we have to talk about next week because next week is Christmas Eve, and I don't know if we're doing a show or not on Christmas Eve. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
some of
Said
us
we
have
gonna rock
families.
it in the new year. He said, let's rock out 2023 with this your banger, okay, and roll on into 2024 with a live stream going, okay. He said, come on, let's set up the plan.
Oh, this is a lot. That's all we do is live streams, but but I mean, it's we'll see. But any more questions for Shante before we wrap up tonight? 'Cause I know Michael and me are both in the East Coast and we're dead tired.
I just wanted to tell Shante, I hope we get an opportunity to speak with you again. You have a lot to say, and I feel like a lot more time is warranted to give you an opportunity to explain even more. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, I appreciate you guys. So she asked me for my links. I'm on TikTok. I live stream often on TikTok, and my name on there is Oracle of Earth. So like Oracle out of the Matrix and then of Earth. So I stream live on there. I do tarot card readings as well that I post on Facebook underneath my personal name, Shante Simon. And then I do mediumship, guided meditations, energy healing, remote viewing, all types of stuff. So yes, definitely. If the conversation tonight interests you and you have any other questions for me, I'm more than willing to answer any questions, and y'all are free to reach out.
Sweet.
So I do the tarot card readings as well. How much are you charging these people? I'm doing $49.95.
Oh God, Scott. Oh God.
So I'm gonna tell you, if you've never gotten a reading from me, and this is what I tell all people, if you've never gotten a reading from me, I'm not charging you anything. You don't know what the fuck you getting into. I'm about to tell you something and you don't know what you're getting into. So, your first reading with me, I don't charge people anything. Any reading after that, I tell you to pay me what you feel this reading is worth. If you felt like you was able to take something from it and it's going to be able to help you upgrade in the way that you need to, pay me that worth. Because FYI, the bartering system works so well if motherfuckers would learn how to communicate and work that shit.
Well, I mean,
Every
love
time
that.
I do a tarot card reading, they just, I don't think they want to pay me anything.
No, they
So
don't, because people want it for free. They want the free and immediate access, but that means you don't want to do the work as well. So now that means, are you going to continue giving them this energy? Or are you going to make these people do the work? FYI, we ain't here for games. These is lessons we trying to get through.
And I love that
You
you
hear
do
that?
it that way, because people will feel like guilty or something if they're just messing around or just doing it for,
Yeah, don't do that, because
right? Like,
I smell bullshit from a mile away. Don't do that, because I'm going to send you on your way.
Hey,
Yeah.
I told Jeremy pretty good. Just saying.
yeah, Scott,
Good
you're a carny. You're good at conning. You're good at bartering. So it's right up your alley. It's right up your alley. So,
Oh,
but
I've got one more question for Shante. Can you give us a little more guidance on which Facebook profile is yours? Because there's quite a number of Shante Simons.
So,
are you the Earth Angels healing?
yes.
So mine should say Earth Angel Shante.
Earth Angels and Life Coaching Service?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. And then my personal page, the profile picture, I'm in a white dress, looking all snazzy.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Cool.
That's all I have. Thank you, guys.
Oh, this has been amazing. Like Michael was saying, I think we could talk, another, I'd love to have you back on, because I have so many more questions, and I like how you're explaining things, because I'm so interested how things, like, I'd like to get a guided meditation into astral projecting. That'd be so cool to do.
I like going on field trips. FYI, make sure you come on TikToks, because that's where the field trips happen. During my lives, I'm helping people to tap into that, because FYI, there are so many people who are stepping into those spaces and they need somebody to help make sure, look, this is what you need to look for. This is what the fuck you need to watch out for. Let's go together. So that way, if you ever go on your own, you know what to look for.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. I'm about to get out of here. Let me get these kids together. Jeremy, I appreciate you. Hugs and love so much, brother.
Anytime, my dear, anytime. And I gotta get you back on my show too, to hear about all your experiences since we talked last.
Yes, very much so. I'll be happy to. Thank you, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and drop down.
All right.
That's great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shante.
Okay, well,
I appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah, we got to find out what we're doing next week.
I believe we're spending time with our families on Christmas Eve, Scott.
Yeah, it's Christmas Eve.
Yeah, are we gonna do it like Thursday or what?
All right,
Just
Deborah,
a week?
Deborah, talk us out, and we'll talk about this after we go off air.
All right. Well, thank you to our listeners. I did notice there was one from Canada. We had a fellow Canadian sticking up for me, so thank you very much, Joanna.
Hey,
I think it was.
Any of you extra Canadians, get the hell out of here. We don't like your kind.
No, come, bring your friends. Let's outnumber these guys.
You can find me on Facebook as Jeremy Bryant, or you can find me as Uncensored, Unapologetic, and Untamed UQ Podcast Collective Facebook group. You can find me on Twitter and the Instagram as @JugglerBastard, or should I say X now. And you can find me on TikTok as @JugglerBastard Podcast. You can also find me on YouTube as Paranormal The New Normal. And you can also find me streaming on YouTube as Blind Knowledge Network, because all knowledge is blind until they admit Bigfoot exists.